I just want to say, we are not against development. We are not against tourism. What are we against? We are against development which doesn't consider the place, that is Goa or Panjim or any other city in Panjim, the people who live there, their quality of life. If that is the kind of development, that is the kind of tourism we are against. And I think this is something we have to be very clear about. We are not against all these things, we're just against the way they're done. And interestingly, you will see in this is the Ropeway. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware, but this Ropeway project has been dangling over our heads for the last 20 years. It's nothing new. It was first proposed by the GSIDC when it was set up in 2001. It was one of the 3 projects proposed by GSIDC. None of them took off for whatever reasons, but the major problem with the Ropeway project, that time it was from Panjim to Agawad. The major problem which came up in the technical report by the consultants who were ILFS from Bangalore was that the wind currents in the bay at the mouth of the river are very strong, and post about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., it's impossible. This is not going to be safe. So 20 years back, this was not taken further. Then, in 2011, it came up as a DTDC proposal. There's a tourism department proposal. And interestingly, at that time, the director of tourism says, we have been receiving several proposals from interested parties to set up these facilities in Goa. So we decided to issue an expression of interest. So it is not about what the Goa government wants. It's not what the planning authorities want in Goa for the development of Goa. It is what somebody sitting outside says, Goa is a nice place. I want to put this project here. I'm dangling this carrot with a few crores. And the government says, yes, we will put it in Goa. So is this this is what we're against. Please plan for the development of Goa. Plan tourism, as everybody said, which keeps the ethos of Goa and its people, not something which is so external. Okay, so I don't know what really happened in 2011, why this didn't happen. Then, in 2015, it came up as a proposal from the Investment Promotion Board. So what they're trying is waiting for people's memories to go small and trying it through different corporations, departments, somewhere it'll pass through. So this proposal came up in 2015. Then in 2016, it was given on a design, build, finance, operate, and transfer basis to Royal Rights. At that time, 2 things happened. First, Mr. Furtado just gave me this. The CCP refused to give a NOC. They said, this project hasn't been informed to the CCP. So we don't know anything about it, we cannot give permission. It's surprising. A huge project coming up in the city without informing the fathers of the city, without informing the CCP, but that's exactly the overriding powers. We can override everything. The people, the city, the laws of the state, the laws of the center. We can do what we want. So the CCP didn't give an NOC, and the CRZ, the GCZMA, didn't give approval for the CRZ. So the project was stalled a bit. But now, on 30th of September 2022, they have got the approvals from GCZMA, and the project is ready to go. So let's see what's happening here. So this is development operations maintenance of passenger ropeway along with ancillary tourism activities. This is the key word between Panjim and Reshmagos. To give you an idea, this is the proposed ropeway right at the mouth of the river. And you can see the Atal Setu, which is a further inland, just to give you an orientation of the project. Now, I'm talking from 2 reports. One is the detailed project report of 2016, which was given by Royal Rise, based on which they got this project. And then in 2019, there was a pre-feasibility report which was submitted for environment clearance. So my data is from these reports. So the project rationale is what? That the North Goa beaches are very congested. We need to decongest them. We need to take away tourism from the beaches and adventure tourism. We need high-end tourism in Goa. So this project is going to lift the image of tourism service in the state. It's going to attract new tourists, the high-end tourists, and is going to decongest the traffic on the beaches. This is their own rationale from their project report. And they also gave the potential advantages to the stakeholders, which are both the tourists and the people of Goa. So what do they say? The project will have positive influence on economic activity and will aid in upliftment of the surrounding areas. Please tell us, how is it going to uplift Miramar, Kampal, and the surrounding areas? Then it's going to provide safe, clean, convenient transport to the public between Panjim and Reshmagos, the ropeway. And as an extra special to the people of Panjim, the working class locals of Panjim and Reshmagos will be given discounted and free rides during office peak hours. I mean, as I said, they have taken the city, the land, they're taking the water, and now they're going to the air, to the skies. Yeah. So these are the advantages. Can the people be against this? This I want to bring up because this is something really important. They talk about technical design, considerations, technical details, where they talk about the length, which is about 1.2 kilometers of length. They talk about, all the technicalities of the gondola system, the cable car, etc., etc. But there is only one line which talks about wind pressure. This is the only reference in the whole report, in the DPR, the detailed project report, as well as in the pre-feasibility study, one line which says the peak wind pressures are approximately 40 kilometers per hour during monsoons, and we have catered for 70, so we are safe. That is all. Nothing more to show us how have they catered. So have they really considered the wind factors? We were really concerned. We wanted to get some more information. We are in the process of doing that, but we spoke to some scientists, retired scientists from NIO, just to understand what this means. And they said, Atal Setu, we know, carries a wind velocity warning. Two-wheelers are not allowed on it because of that. So what about this 1.2 kilometers free suspended ropeway? Isn't this going to be affecting this? What happens when there are gusts of wind, cross currents? In the monsoons, literally from May to September is monsoons. Will this project be viable? And where are the studies, the technical reports, which have shown simulations and models to show how will it work in terms of gusty winds, the cables in a corrosive environment, uneven loading? Nothing. We need to ask for all these things. We need to ask the government, we need to show all these things. Now the government of Goa is proposing that they're going to have a public hearing on the ropeway project. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. It came in the papers. So when this public hearing comes, I think all of us need to be there. We need to do a bit of research ourselves so we can ask the relevant, pertinent questions. Okay, again, it's all about economics. So what do they say? The estimated traffic in the first year is about 2.5 to 3 million people. 2.5 to 3 million people. Let's assume half will come to Panjim and half will go to Reshmagos. So we're talking about 1.5 million people per year coming into Panjim. And heart of Panjim. And they're talking about in the whole technical thing, we are catering for so much, but we have provision for extending the operations. Obviously, you need more numbers to be feasible. In 2016, the estimated cost was 175 crores. In the 2019 report, it's come to 223 crores. And now it is 2022. We don't know how much it is now. It is also growing. To give you an idea, Panjim, the lower terminal, Resh Magos, the upper terminal. This is the proposed layout. This is the upper terminal at Resh Magos. This is Comunidad land. It's a huge plot of about 30,000 square meters, out of which 8,000 has been given to the tourism department for this project by the Comunidad of Nerul and Resh Magos. And they're going to change the zone to settlement. I am not going to talk in detail about this terminal because there are a lot of issues over here regarding access, slope, construction problems, everything. But that's another story. I'm going to focus on the Panjim terminal. That is the lower terminal. As you can see, you can make out the swimming pool. So it's between the swimming pool, the indoor stadium, and the Directorate of Sports Affairs, and that parking. So that is the area they have identified. They say that the whole land is about 14,000 square meters. It belongs to the government of Goa, out of which 5,200 has been given for this project, for the lower terminal. That is for the building. And 400 square meters by the waterfront has been given for the tower. And interestingly, in their project, what do they say? This area, they're talking about this area, due to overlap of mixed-use activities, the location often faces traffic congestion problems. So they're already recognizing it. And what are you doing about it? You're decongesting the North Goa beaches and further congesting Panjim. Is this planning? Is this development? Something is wrong. Now, just to give you an idea, because we come back to open recreational spaces along the river for the people of Panjim, in the outline development plan of 2011, the area was parking and recreational. In the ODP of 2021 and 2031, it has been changed to institutional to support this project. Because what do they say? This is a public utility project for public transportation, to make it convenient for people to travel from Panjim to Resh Magos. And then, when we see the project description in the 2019 report, it says the land at Panjim is considered recreational, which has been transferred to commercial. Where? We don't know about it. Because the last we know is the ODP 2031, which still shows the recreational. So are they planning to change it to commercial without even telling the people? Maybe they can. So it's going to change to commercial. So another recreational area becomes commercial. And the land which is in Resh Magos is orchard, which are changing to settlement. But this is just another example of how it's a complete takeover, complete override. This is really interesting. They say the total land for the Ropeway project is 38,571.69 square meters, out of which 5,200 is in Panjim at the lower terminal, 8,000 is Resh Magos, the upper terminal, 400 is for the tower at Panjim. Where is the rest of the 24,971 square meters? We don't know. The report doesn't say it. So it's definitely somewhere. Are they planning to proposing to convert more and more land? Are they going to take more and more of our open spaces? You know, now if you see, if you see this big red in front of the swimming pool, which is green converting to red, is that also going for the ropeway? We don't know. They don't mention it in the report. So I think a lot is happening to our city without us being aware of it. Okay, so now we talked about the ropeway, and now this commercial building and the terminal buildings, what do they propose? Because part 1 is a ropeway, part 2, because they also say in the report, it has to be economically sustaining. Ropeway, we don't know how many people will come, how many people will use, how many months in a year, we don't know. So they are going to have these terminal buildings with world-class ancillary activities like artificial skiing, skydiving, gondola restaurant, 4D aquarium, multiplexes, snow world, and whatever else you want. Is this the high-end tourism we want in Goa? So basically, think of any activity you want, it can be put here. And this is not improving the tourism infrastructure of Goa, it's adding more pressure. If you really want to improve the tourism infrastructure, improve our roads, improve our public transport, improve the facilities on the beach. Goa is a beach destination. It's been a premier beach destination internationally. Let's make it such. But this is the focus. So this is an idea of the lower terminal building in Panjim. So this is a building that is a tower by the river. They say it's a ground plus 5 building. And this is just the building in that 5,200. We don't know where the 24,000 still is and what is happening there. That's still a mystery. So if you see, they say ground plus 5, but it's like an 8-story building. An 8-story building coming up in the middle of the sport activities, in the heart of Panjim, right at the waterfront of Miramar. This is what they're proposing. But, interestingly, this is really interesting, Royal Rights say, we are not deciding this project by ourselves. There's a demand for it. We have done a survey of 700 people, out of which 400 are domestic tourists, 100 are foreign tourists, and 200 are the locals. And they want the ropeway. And they're talking about the ticket for the ropeway. This is important. They talk about a ticket. They're saying, oh, the people are saying, we pay entry tickets for spice plantations, elephant rides, water rides. We can pay up to about 550 per round. So is this public transport for the locals or merely for tourism? There's so much of conflict in what they are proposing and what they are saying and what they're actually giving. There is also a study where they said about the willingness to use the ropeway facility. So if you see, the yes, the maybe, and the no answer are almost equal. So people are kind of, okay, we're not sure whether we'll use the ropeway, whether we will use yes, no. So it's almost equal. But what is important? What do people want? People say that the existing recreation activities have become monotonous. They've become boring. These facilities can be a good source of fun and entertainment. This is the basis for setting up this huge project in Goa, because the tourists are bored with the facilities here.
Can the tourists dictate how to set up? Forget the tourism department.
Out of the 3 reasons, another very interesting reason, 3 prime reasons. So one is because it's so boring, we need more fun and entertainment in Goa, in Panjim, Reshma goes. They've mentioned they need a scenic place to capture good moments. Insta tourists? Is that what it's all about? These are the reasons why people want a ropeway. And this is the demand for which the ropeway is coming up. So, it is very clear the ropeway is a purely entertainment project, fully commercial, 100% revenue oriented. It is not a public utility project. And now, as per the report, they're saying it's going to be turned to commercial. Maybe they're recognizing the fact. Maybe the earlier thing was just to get the project. You made a public utility project, you get the project. Now you can change it. Who cares? Then it is definitely not a public transportation project. it is further just congest Panjim. Look at the amount of traffic they're estimating. And this is going to grow every year, according to them. And then, from what we can see, as all of you could see, the whole focus seems to be these terminal buildings and commercial activities, which is just a hodgepodge of tourism activities. There's something in the report where they also say that these activities will be changed and upgraded as the customer wants. So tomorrow, what do you want? More casinos. You want a Grand Prix. You want underwater something. Have it here. Whatever you want, they will do for you because they need the revenue. So, is this what we want? Are we the people going to keep quiet and we just be taken for a ride by everybody? Is this how we want the development in Goa? So they say we are anti-development, we are anti-tourism. We are not. We are anti this kind of tourism and this kind of development. Until they involve us in the process of deciding what kind of development, they listen to us and they respect it. Only then we can have proper development in Goa. And I think it's up to all of us to get involved. Because if we keep quiet, we're letting them get away with this. Thank you.